Okay guys, game number 3 coming up. One thing to note is that they have two Moskwas, and those, along with boosters, are among the most dangerous radar cruisers. Simply because those things will hit you at the distance of a radar range. When you're playing against the Des Moines, that is just about 10 kilometers away, you can dodge almost all of it. The Moskwa will reach out to you, it will hit you, it's very dangerous. I respect it a lot as an opponent. Another thing to notice is we have an Akizuki, which is a formidable opponent, since it can just gun you down, despite being tier 8. So that's something to keep an eye out. And what we also should notice is this is a carrier game, which is rather lucky that I happen to have one in this best of 3 series. So let's just see how things go. Unfortunately, this is a replay because the recording system crashed on me. Notice though that one of my teammates immediately asks me if I'm going A. I'm saying I need support, he acknowledges that, and he is willing to help me out. Keep also in mind the Yamato here is from Wargaming Pay to Lose. We've played those in Clan Wars, so we sort of know each other. And we've got a Minotaur, which is pushing up here and could actually provide a really nice AA blanket. Knowing I have this much support, I start my engine boost and make sure I get to the cap a bit quicker than I usually would.
Enemy force detected.
And now we're seeing the one drawback the Moskwa has, that it has bad concealment. And we realize there are both here. Both Moskwas on our side of the map, which means we have to be a bit more cautious, because if that guy were to activate his radar now, he would probably spot me, because he's got 11.7 kilometers of range. I'm asking my team to help me with AA, but I'm a bit overextended for that, so there's nothing I can do about it. I'll try to stay on the cap. I'm focusing the planes any second now. But I'm already getting under fire from this Moskwa and the Amagi back there, and some other ships.
The ship is on fire.
Fortunately though, the carrier is pulling his planes back, and I'm able to just go stealth again. Those are just prediction torps I'm throwing, and this is a Moskwa radar. I'm trying to use this island to my right as cover, simply because Moskwa has very, very flat arcs, so I'm hoping that I can mitigate some damage there. I failed to pay attention there a bit, but only pay a minor price. And I spotted the Z-52, so I'm dropping some preemptive torps in case he's trying to push around the corner to get me. I would recommend staying a bit further away from islands if you have to do those zigzag maneuvers, because it is really, really sketchy to do and risky.
All stations requesting fire on the designated target. All forces capture that area. Torpedoes to starboard.
Thankfully the Hindenburg next to me is running Hydro, which is why we spot those tops early. You see, we've got the brunt of their forces on our side of the map, so at this point I was quite reluctant about our chances here, because we were a bit boxed in. The Minotaur had gone B, and yeah. And then the carrier struck, and pretty much one-shot their Moskwa. If you happen to have a midway on your team and the guy's playing with AP bombs, he might be a huge help, because the midway is capable of one-shotting both Moskwas, Des Moines, you name it. Very, very good ship at that. I'm reluctant to push up further, because I know the Z-52 is somewhere here. Right there you see the smoke, and the Moskwa is there. So I'm on the borderline of the Moskwa's radar range, and you've got to keep in mind the Z-52 has 6 kilometer hydro. So if he is actually using this hydro, he can spot. I'm firing these torps a bit shorter than I usually would, because I'm expecting the Corvus to turn out. I've got very low expectations for those though, because once the Z-52 smoked up, I assume he pulled his hydro and is just waiting for those torps. With a third launcher, I do something I usually don't recommend, but in this sort of low percentage situation, I want to cover his entire smoke, and I'm firing just luck torps into his smoke, hoping they hit anything. The reason I'm doing that is so that my top tubes remain relatively close together in terms of reload. There's a 28 or 27-second discrepancy between those. That's perfectly okay. That's perfectly okay.
Team has taken the lead.
It is also due to the hydro that I do not push up this flank and try to get around here. Notice please that our Z-23 is actually chasing their carrier. I wouldn't do that necessarily, but at this point it really helps because it keeps this guy very, very busy. Okay, the smoke is dissipating. Being that I can outspot the Z-52, I'm moving up in the hopes of finding him. And there he is.
Concentrate fire on
He is spotting me back, but I'm actually quite confident in this situation because I've got a Hindenburg behind me, I've got 2 battleships here, and his support is rather far away. Keep in mind though, you do not want to give a Z-52 broadside because this German AP can really hurt you. I'm not returning fire, I don't see a point in it. Especially since it might incapacitate my torpedo tubes, which is really not something I want. Torping the torpedoes is not the ideal target, but at this point my team is pushing all out. I'm just going with one set on the torpedoes, looking for an angle on the Montana. Firing one more set in the direction of a curve first should he turn in, and one set at the Monty. Just creating a large corridor through which several different spreads of torpedoes run. Z-52 is taking decent fire, and at this point I'm deciding I can do something about this myself. My guns are good enough. And I break and I start smoking up. I did open fire at the guy. I also do this because I've got a lot of battleships very close without means to spot me. So the Terrapins can spot me, the Montana can spot me. And I can actually support my guys and cause a little bit more panic among the enemy.
smoke screen set. Our victory is in sight.
The Terrapins use damage con. I know that because my fire on him isn't ticking anymore and he didn't take a flooding. Shimakaze torpedoes have a flooding chance of over 400%, so yeah, once you don't get a flooding, assume the enemy had damage con up. And as I said before, Wargaming Pay to Lose is a clan you can put quite a bit of trust in, so this Yamato just took care of it, Montana, and that's it. I was thinking I was going to chase the Midway and the Maginot, but seeing that the carrier torps are coming in for his turrets and that the enemy has got 50 points left, I just tried to get some more damage before the game would be over. And any second now. Yeah, there it is. So, this was a game in which I lost about 127